It might be Friday, but guess what? It gave me a lot more time to do research and give you solid picks. Cuzzy, get me an intro. Make sure they give us the likes and the comments and all the other stuff.
Cuzzy, we need likes. We need comments. We need concerns even. We want to hear your concerns. We really do. So we could, try to make this thing roll even better. Subscribe to YouTube. Ring the bell. Cousin, let's kick this week off with a little NBA in-season tourney recap, future action, how we looking here. Pacers defeat the Celtics.
Yes.
And then
the Pacers just beat the Bucks while we were about to get started to film. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I think the players do play harder in the tourney games.
They're playing hard.
But I don't know if I'm sold yet. Honestly, I wish they would have put a bigger dollar amount for the winners so the players would have tried harder.
So here's the deal.
Early on.
A nickel a guy, right?
I want $1 million.
Do you think that's enough?
No, $1 million a guy.
You're looking for $1 million per guy.
I want each guy to win $1 million because that could double someone's salary. And if I'm a superstar and I see a guy on my team that if I can double his salary, I'm going to play my ass off to try and make it happen.
Yeah, we've already had superstars. We had Giannis who found out after the last game to get to the semis that he was even getting money.
He knew.
He said he didn't know. He said he didn't know. We had Lillard say that, he would like to see a lot of those bench guys pick up a nickel. Easy for a guy like that to say, of course.
Yeah.
But Lakers, a little bit of an old man vibe still hanging in there. They're playing the Pelicans tonight. Pelicans bringing youth into this game.
You know what? This is going to be an interesting game. If you want my opinion, I think the NBA needs the Lakers in, but the line's 2. The game's going to be past tense when you watch this, but just be careful with these weird lines with the Lakers. There's games they show up, and then there's games they don't show up. You never know what you're going to see. I hate the Lakers offense, genuinely. I think it's sloppy and I think it's ugly.
It is very sloppy. It is very unorganized, but it is kind of working a little bit. Obviously, they have a lot of guys that can put the ball in the bucket.
I think Zach LaVine's going to be there within the next week or two. I really do.
He says he's going to be out another 4 weeks with the Bulls now with this injury. That's kind of going to tell me that he's all but kind of...
The reason why he's out, his foot hurts. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think this is strategic on both sides. Let's get him just to sit down until we find a place to trade him so he doesn't get hurt.
He's Mushad.
All right, we're going to talk about NCAA.
Let's talk about
I'm going to hurt feelings, but I'm also going to tell you where I agree with you. Should FSU be in? No, FSU should not be in. But this is what they should have done. The NCAA, the CFP committee, what they should have done is said, guys, we're going to take 1 and 2 seeds and give them a bye. We're going to do 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. It would have been 3 is Texas. So Texas versus, what would that have been? The 6th seed would be Georgia. Texas versus Georgia. FSU versus Alabama. And then the winners there move on and play the 1 and the 2 seed, Washington and the Michigan Wolverines. That's what should have happened. But FSU, you can't look at me in the eyes and tell me that you're one of the best 4 teams. You're not even one of the best 5 teams.
I agree. So the funny thing about saying that is that they come into a game that is going to be the Orange Bowl this year, a 14-point dog against a team that's a 6th ranked team in Georgia. So here's my thing. My entirety mindset, everything that I've put into this thought process, because as a coach, as I've told you before, sometimes I do feel it's unfair to some of the other guys on the team. But You want to know what is fair?
What?
The longevity of the mental capacity of these guys on the Knolls. Because let me tell you something. They know, just like we all know, if you beat Louisville in an ACC championship game 16-6, you just didn't knock on the door hard enough to get yourself in the playoffs.
If you would have walked in and beat him 60-6.
That QB looked weak.
Yeah.
And let me tell you right now, you're about to see why you weren't in the playoffs. Because when you run into the Georgia Dogs, a team that's looking for sweet revenge.
I think the Dogs, I don't even think they want to play in this game.
The Dogs are going to beat them into oblivion.
You think so?
Yeah.
If that quarterback's playing, probably.
The Dogs are going to beat them into oblivion. It's that simple. I seen what they had to offer offensively without Travis in there. It's a no contest for me. I think that they saved face by not getting in there. I really do.
You know what? Here's what I think.
Tell me what you think.
I think CFP expanding next year made it easier for them to kick FSU out. Hey, listen, they're out. But next year, just know you would have been in. Now, what I do want these kids to understand, life's not fair. There's many times in my life that I watched when I was growing up, people stole from my father millions of dollars. And my dad said, what am I going to do? Bring them to fucking court and not get anything out of it and just get them, thrown in jail and then taken away from their family? You know what? They needed the money more than we did, Marco. Move on, fire them, and let's just stop and move on. So all I'm going to say is life's not fair. And I'm sorry, but that's just the way it works. And I just watched the Patriots.
Yeah, I want to take a break in the action to say thank you to Mitchell Trubisky. You're exactly what I knew you were, a bum. There's another pick. Well, we're 1 minute into the second, baby.
They washed one of the picks out.
Oh, we're 1 minute into the second. Hey, before we get into the NFL, I also want to ask the NBA, please, for next year's in-season tourney, if you could stop with that court. You're giving some of us epilepsy. I've heard of people going to the hospital with that color on the court. Please knock that off. Let's get into the NFL, cousin. Are you ready?
You're shot. All right.
How bad is that floor? Just be honest.
I don't like the floors.
You seen the floor live?
Not a fan.
Did you see the all-red floor live at the Bulls game?
I was there live. I touched
hurts,
it.
right?
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
Okay. NFL QB talk, that's literally what it is. NFL MVP talk. People are saying, is it Brock Purdy?
It's funny you just mentioned that, QB.
Is it Brock Purdy? Is it Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Tua, Lamar? Who is it? At the end of the day, the NFL needs to adjust how they rate these type of awards, because I don't agree that every quarterback that has a halfway decent team is on the list. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think Tyreek Hill's the MVP.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Tyreek Hill is the MVP? He's plus 1,500 to win the award.
Yes.
He's looking to become the only receiver in NFL history to eclipse 2,000 plus yards
and
hold that title.
If this guy goes for over 2,000 yards and he hits some crazy touchdown amount, if he doesn't get the MVP and Brock Purdy, and I like him a lot, and I'm saying this nicely, a system quarterback who runs the system perfect, by the way.
He does.
I don't agree that a system quarterback should win MVP over a guy that's running out of the freaking shoes. I just don't. I mean, if you hate me, who do you think is the MVP? Brock Purdy or Tyreek Hill? I'm letting you know, I think it's Tyreek Hill.
Most valuable player is the MVP, correct?
Yes.
So the most valuable player is probably a guy who is on pace, like we said,
the Niners
to get 2,000
won games
yards.
With Jimmy Garoppolo. Is he ever considered the MVP?
They won a lot of games, a lot.
Yeah.
We're talking about a receiver who's going for $123 a game and who has 12 touchdowns. I'm telling you right now, with the schedule ahead for this team, he could get to 20 touchdowns and 2,000 plus yards on the season.
Lamar Jackson is more of an MVP for his team than Brock Purdy. My opinion.
So speaking of Brock Purdy, you and I were all over the Niners. You liked the Niners so much last week that you told those sweet Philly fans that you'd get their logo or the name Eagles, whatever, tattooed on your ass. Mm-hmm. That's how confident you were.
Yeah.
The Niners, no surprise for us too. They went in there and they beat that ass up.
They didn't just beat them. They ran them out of Philly. They were in Philly and the Niners ran them out of Philly.
Yeah. I asked an Eagles fan, a guy who repetitively hits me with a message for whatever reason after every single game. I never even say anything bad. I still get a message no matter what.
You bum bitch.
He puts my head in the toilet bowl. He's pissing on my head. He's doing all kinds of crazy things. But I asked this guy before the game because he, of course, he's chirping Eagles hard as soon as he's seen that I had a last leg coming down to the Niners.
You saw what people were sending me when the score was 6-0, right?
Yeah, it was disturbing.
I was like, hey, I'm going to save this. He's like, you mush motherfucker. Everybody knows you're a mush. And I was like, hey, cuz, like, you're coming at me when it's 6-0, and then when it was 42-13, he didn't know what to say. He didn't know what to say.
So I asked the Eagles fan, I said, listen, tell me this. Your team's 10-1. You've been chirping me in the box for the last 8 fucking weeks in a row. Your team's 10-1. You got an MVP quarterback. You mean to tell me you're hosting a team and you're getting 3 at home? That was Provolone City. When it smells like provolone, leave it alone. Cousin, I'm telling you right now, that was the most trapped up game that I've ever laid eyes on.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, if you are a 10-1 team that everybody thinks is insane and they're giving you 3 points at home, you have to run away, everybody. I gave you guys a lesson. Some of you took it and a lot of you didn't. It was kind of scary. Okay, time for us to talk about the New York Jets and the Zach Wilson chaos, we're going to call it.
I can't wait.
Zach Wilson I feel bad for.
I feel horrible for Zach.
I feel horrible for Zach Wilson. This guy never gets a fair chance, and I get it. He's not the best, but there's no one better.
He's not the worst.
There's no one better behind him. What do you think about this?
This is a very, very, very frustrating topic to me. I don't know how a coaching staff, I already told you guys numerous times, Nathaniel Hackett, worst OC in the league. Him and Getsy should both honestly go find an island and stay there. They are horrible, but I cannot believe the head coach, who many people like. I have to tell you personally, I'm not the biggest fan. I really don't think he's as great of a coach as people think he is. With that being said, how do you look and go through the motions at practice and say, you know what? The team is in dire need. We've lost our franchise superstar.
We're going to put in
QB.
Trevor Siemian.
No, they say Zach Wilson's playing out there, but honestly, that Tim Boyle looks good over there. I think we should go to him next. I watched that guy play. Tim, with all due respect, I've never sniffed the league. You should not sniff the league either. I really believe that. I do not think he's an NFL QB. I think the Jets obviously realized what they did was bad.
Why didn't the Jets go hit up Flacco?
Because the Jets weren't thinking clearly. They have Zach Wilson in front of their eyes at practice, a guy who has athleticism, and they say, you know what? Let's put Tim Boyle in there, a guy who has lesser of an arm and lesser of athleticism. I'm so upset about the whole scenario. I want Zach Wilson to go somewhere and dominate.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do that, but he's going to start this week, and I'm not going to lie, I kind of like the Jets.
So do I.
That's what I'm going to say.
So do I. We'll get into that.
I got a question. Is Shaq Leonard signing with the Eagles a big deal?
I think it is.
You do?
I think the Eagles, if you look at their roster...
It's just another guy that stops the run, though.
They got rid of TJ Edwards to the Bears, who's playing out of his mind. He's a top 5 linebacker in the league that they let go. They did replace him with Nicholas Morrow, who's having a pretty good year. But with that being said, they're going to need some veteran leadership, especially some help at that linebacker position. And in the playoffs, I think it's always good to have a veteran leader like Shaq Leonard, especially a guy who I always tell you about, a guy who is very, very hungry to play in a very meaningful game.
That I understand. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. They already have players like him that are good. So whatever, we're going to find out. He picked him over the Cowboys.
He sure did.
He picked the Eagles over the Cowboys.
He did that quickly, too, I must say. That was a very, very quick jump. He could be very sorry.
Buddy, you're old. You should have gone and played in a dome. Just saying.
He could be very sorry that he made that decision.
Is the NFL officiating the worst you've ever seen, yes or no?
100,000%.
I feel as if these refs are like taking things into their own hands.
These refs are honestly getting to that NBA type stardom where they're like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and drop one down here. I want them to see me on... like that one guy...
I'm getting some TV time.
Like that one guy who thought he turned the mic off and he's like, hey, listen, we're live here, okay? Back up. I'm going to call this penalty. Did you see that guy?
Yeah, hey, we're on national TV.
Hey,
here.
we're on national TV there, fella. Step back. Let me call this holding call.
Honestly, I think NFL officiating is in a weird conundrum. I feel as if you have a lot of veteran refs with a lot of new refs, and I don't think the communication's the best. I do expect it to get better, but the one thing that is the worst I've ever seen is the QB play this year. I think that's why I haven't been able to crush this year like I've crushed other years. I'm used to having established QB play to be able to break down and make decisions. That's why I feel like I'm batting 55%, and I need to do better.
You know what I do like, just a quick thought about the officiating this year?
What?
They're really, really kind of laying off giving the superstar QBs all the kind of the glory and the calls. And you see a lot of these superstar QBs right now. They're frustrated. They're letting the ball
Mahomes
go.
not getting that call.
Horrible.
That pass interference
Horrible.
call. I feel bad. Valdez-Scantling, that guy gets nothing. He can't catch the ball, and he gets no calls when he goes to try to catch it. It's crazy.
That guy's a 6'4" Devin Hester. He has absolute sprinter breakaway speed with hands that I honestly
hands
wouldn't
like
sell
my 4-year-old
to the Pop Warner division.
Yeah, hands like my 4-year-old. Okay, we're going to talk about some 6-6 teams that
a little 6-6.
Oh my God, Mitch just almost threw another pick. He's so bad. Vikings 6-6. They're plus 120 to make the playoffs. They're going to be facing, after a bye week, which is now, they're going to be facing the Las Vegas Raiders, the Bengals, the Lions, the Packers, and the Detroit Tigers. Detroit Lions again. I don't know how to feel. They kind of sputtered.
So you ready for my theory?
Let's hear it.
They're at LV this week. They're coming off a bye, and they're getting the Jet back in the lineup. I love them this week. I'm going to get into that. I think that this is a must-win game for them.
This is a must-win.
I think they out-coach Las Vegas in this game, and I think you really do see the presence of Justin Jefferson being back in the lineup. That's going to be a huge help for Joshua Dobbs.
I think their whole season is dependent on the game where they face Green Bay. They have to split with Detroit, and the whole season's going to come down if they go to the playoffs, if they can win in Green Bay.
Speaking of Green Bay,
or win versus Green Bay.
Another 6-6 playoff team, now minus 230, okay, to take this thing home. Now, let me tell you, they're on a 3-game win streak, and they are
I just realized why they're minus 230.
Yes,
they're facing the Giants, the Bucks, the Panthers, the Minnesota Vikings, tough game, and then the Chicago down bad Bears. Which aren't so down, because, if the Bears win every game to end the year, they could make the playoffs. Just saying.
Hey, I am going to do it. I'm going to do it right now. Minus 230 to make the playoffs. I'm going to promise the Green Bay faithful this, and I cannot believe I spent 5 years there, and I took a lot of abuse. As a longtime Bear fan, if they make the playoffs, I'm getting the Jordan Love jersey.
Oh, my God.
Because I love him that much.
And
because I've been saying he's a straight bona fide baller since
people are holding
day one.
signs like this. It says, it's a love story. It just is. Somehow the Packers have found a way to be better than the Bears already, and it's driving me nuts. I've got no feelings on the NFC North right now. For me, it's a coin flip. I don't want any part of it, and I don't want to lay minus 230. That's for sure.
And with that being said, I do like the Vikings too a really lot. I really do.
It's a fun story. It's going to be a fun one to watch at the end here. And if both teams sputter, like I said, the Bears aren't far behind.
No. It's a shit show going on over there.
Listen, I'm just saying they got a chance.
They might beat Detroit this weekend.
Broncos are 6-6 as well. They're plus 300 to make the playoffs, and they've got a hell of a tough schedule. They've got the Chargers twice. They've got the Lions. The Lions seem to be in all of these talks, which is hilarious. And then Chargers twice, Patriots, Lions, and then last game would be the Raiders. I think that they would need to win 4 out of the next 5 to make the playoffs, and I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
But I want it to, because I've obviously been a Broncos guy.
That's some pretty good value, though, honestly, for
Plus
a little
300,
sprinkle.
Yeah, a little sprinkle. I won't bet it. I don't like betting like stuff like that. I'd rather bet a Super Bowl future, because if I'm going to bet them to win to make the playoffs, they're plus 100 to win the Super Bowl, so I might as well just plug that in. I mean, I go for the home run.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
We know you do that.
Seahawks 6-6. I'm not even going to get into it. Their season's over.
Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute.
Geno Smith sucks.
Wait a minute. The Seahawks actually, for me, are showing something very bizarre. The Seahawks now. I want you to look at this.
Brother, look at who they play.
No. Can you listen to me?
All right, go ahead.
They have the toughest road ahead by far. I would say the next couple teams that I'll name off make it the hardest schedule in the league. They're 6-6 plus 200, which isn't that good a value for a road that's consisting of San Francisco, Philly, after they've already played Frisco,
then
Dallas.
Then it gets easy. Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Arizona.
But look at that run they've went on. They got pounded by Frisco. They've lost an absolute nail-biter to Dallas. Then they're going to go at Frisco again, and then they're going to go against the Eagles. By that time, their season could be done. It's just kind of alarming to me that they're a plus 200 only.
I'm not an Eagles fan, or I'm not a Seahawks fan. You know that. I'm not an Eagle fan either.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I don't like it. Whatever. Rams 6-6. I like it. Plus 145 to make the playoffs. I think the Rams are going to be a motherfucker in the playoffs, and I think that they're going to be the type of team that could upset somebody early. Watch out. Good. Watch out. Stafford's been there and done that.
No. Just so you guys know, Rams have scored 73 points over the course of the last 2 games. They put 36 up on Cleveland last week, who, by the way, has a unbelievable defense. The Rams will be battle-tested this weekend for sure.
Yeah, I'm letting you know. We'll talk about games later, but I like the Rams to make the playoffs.
Yep.
Cincinnati Bengals plus 750 to make the playoffs. Browning did exactly what he did in college, threw the ball like a champion. He's got it in him. And his story's pretty sad that he is what he's gone through.
I love this guy.
I'd love the story for them to make it, but their schedule's so hard. Indy, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Cleveland. That's a tough finish.
It's a gauntlet.
Whatever. That's going to be tough.
Let's talk about a team you love. Oh, I couldn't wait to talk to you about this.
The Falcons?
The 6-6 Falcons minus now 215
Minus 215 to do what?
to make the playoffs.
Suck my fat, girthy Picciolini. They're not making nothing.
You want to hear who they're playing?
Nothing.
They've won the last 2. They've beaten New Orleans and the Jets. They will go and...
I think they lose.
They're playing against Tampa, Carolina, Indy, Chicago, New Orleans. They are playing the absolute dirt of dirt to close out the season. They definitely can make the playoffs.
I will literally do whatever I can to not see this team in the playoffs.
I want to see them in the playoffs so bad.
Murder me.
I want to
Murder me.
see the Falcons in the playoffs.
Oh, I'd be
so bad.
Why?
Why not?
Their QBs suck.
Okay, could I just ask you something? Just take the QB out of it mentally. Think of the other guys, the supporting
I
cast,
can't.
the additions they've made.
All I think about when I think about the Atlanta Falcons is Desmond Ridder is going to have to go face somebody in the NFC. Oh God!
I got one better for you.
What?
Desmond Ridder takes ATL to the playoffs.
Okay.
Everyone knows like ATL got there on, just pure young talent and,
Sure.
playing tough. And then your boy goes in there, Justin Fields. He rips that spot from Ridder, takes them deep into the playoffs next year with the same supporting cast. That would be a story.
That is the rumor that Justin Fields could end up in Atlanta. And,
Wouldn't that be a story?
And I have news for you. It does make sense.
And that team would be dangerous.
I'm going to be honest. I'd like that team. Man. I'm going to be honest with you.
I got him. Yes.
All right. So we're going to talk games. Obviously, we don't need to talk about the Patriots Steelers. It's 14-3. Mitch can't find an open receiver if you paid him. Yeah. Whatever. We're going to move on. So Bucks at Falcons. Bucks are plus 1.5. I'm letting you know right now. I like the Bucks plus 1.5 over the Falcons. I think you already knew that after my spiel about the Falcons. I like a seasoned defense to slow down the Falcons' offense of whatever there is. And I think Baker's going to be able to put up some points. And this will make the division tie, right? That puts them tied in the division.
Sure does.
6-7. What a bum ass.
That's a huge game.
What a bum freaking schedule. What a bums these guys are in that division.
The Saints are 5-7 too. They're playing poverty. Poverty
Don't even get me
Panthers.
started with them. Don't even get me started with them.
I hate that team.
That team is the best, worst team I've ever seen. It's almost like the Chargers. Okay, do you have any feelings on this game? Do you like the Falcons?
I got no feelings on that game. In fact, I don't like the Falcons because these two teams in the NFC South are both dog shit, and I'm going to let them hash it out without getting any.
All right, I gave you guys a pick, plus 1.5. Lions at Bears. I've got no pick here. I want nothing to do with it. All I can say is if Bears have any pride, they're going to get back the win they gave to the Lions.
That's truthfully it right there. The Bears come into this game with the number 1 ranked rushing defense. I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. They should have beat the Lions last time I said it. The Lions do struggle when they're unable to run the football. Jared Goff can't get in a rhythm. He's going to be on grass. I honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I almost would lean Bears plus 3.5.
Leaning, I'm putting that down. Lean.
That's a lean, though. That's a lean. We'll see how that moves until then.
All right. Next one, Colts at Bengals. It's Bengals are minus 1.5 in this game. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have a pick, but I think everybody's going to lean on that over. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go under. Just saying. But I'm not going to bet. You know me. I don't bet over-unders. I'm just not touching it. What about you?
Must-win game for both teams, 7-5 versus 6-6. Bengals at home, which I do feel they play a lot better at home. Browning coming off an unbelievable game. I want no part of it.
Yeah, you're not.
I want no part of it because this guy Minshew, as you've mentioned time and time again,
he just proves
he's
everybody
very
wrong.
Scrappy.
He is, and he don't give up.
He's like, I don't want to bet against him because I kind of like watching him run around and do crazy shit.
Indianapolis-looking person to ever quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts ever since Peyton Manning. It's unbelievable. He just has that Joe Dirt-looking guy. Like, I just showed up.
Don't you kind of root for him though?
I do.
I do too.
I do. I do. I can't help it. Jags at the Browns. I'm on the Browns money line here. I like the Browns. I think they're going to shut down the Jags. Even if Lawrence somehow magically plays, which there is a rumor that he might magically play, I'm on the Browns here. I think the Jags going into cold weather, I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's the over-under is 32. I'll take the Browns here, money line at home to go to 8-5. That's my feelings on that.
Yeah, to me, the Jags got beat in more ways than just the loss they took last week. Physically, they got absolutely pounded. They lost Christian Kirk in that game. T-Law went out in that game. I couldn't agree with you more. Browns come into this game with the first-ranked passing defense. If C.J. Beathard has to see that, ladies and gentlemen, get on your knees near your bed, say your prayers for C.J.B. He's going to get heated up all night. Yeah. I actually like the Browns in this game.
Yeah, I'm on the Browns. Both of us there are on the Browns. Interesting. Yep. Panthers at the Saints.
Want to talk about it?
I've gotten insulted taking the Saints like I have. And they show these flashes. Like, they were down by 1 million points on Sunday. They came back, had the ball, were driving downfield, and then, gave up an easy touchdown by turning the ball over. It's so frustrating to see a team be so good and not make wins. I don't want any part of -5.5, and I'm not going to take a money line that's that large. You can do whatever you want here. I think the Panthers are motivated after getting their coach fired. No bet for me. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Saints win, but a Panthers cover.
I don't touch the Saints.
I've touched them a lot.
I know. I just can't touch them. They do exactly what you said. Last week, they come out dead asleep. They get fucking throttled on to start the game.
21-0 to start the game.
They get throttled on to start the game.
All of a sudden, it's 24-21.
They give you that hope glimmer, and then they end up with the ball at the end, and they ruin it.
Yeah, and I get it.
It's Derek hard Carr to bet.
Hurt. If Carr didn't get hurt, I think they win the game.
I agree. How bad is Jameis?
Yeah, Jameis. I love him to death.
He's hilarious.
I can't believe I didn't make the plays, man. All right, Texans at the Jets. The Jets are a Cinderella story, and I'm not lying, but I think without Tank, they're done zini. I think the Jets are going to get this win, and I like it +3.5. So I'm on +3.5 and money line +175. I think I saw. That's what I'm on there.
Yep.
Do you have a lean?
CJ Stroud at MetLife, very, very hostile environment. No Tank Dell for him as his kind of Batman and Robin type figure, and the Jets rank 3rd in pass D in this game. They're going to do whatever they can to make the Texans run the football. The Texans do not like to do that. So for me, I am leaning on the Jets as well. I think this is a Zach Wilson revenge game and a half.
Oh, yeah. I think he's going
to pull out the Picholino.
I think they're going to win, and I think they're going to win, not easy, but I think they're going to win with some conviction. And Zappy is just, oh my God.
Zappy ripping it.
Oh my God. That's 2 touchdowns for Hunter Henry, which
First of all,
I knew that was going to happen.
Can I ask
today.
you something?
Yeah.
Who told you Zappy should have been in 6 weeks ago?
You did. And they got 21 points in the second quarter.
Fucking Mac Jones.
Hey, RIP to everyone that bet the under. You're a fish.
Mac Jones.
Unbelievable.
Mac Jones looks like he works at State Farm.
Yeah. Okay. Rams at Ravens. Guys, I'm on the Rams +7.5. And I'm on a money line.
Ooh! He's on the ML.
I'm on the ML, and I'm on the 7 and a hooker. Wow. How big are your balls? You don't need to have big balls. You can take the 7.5 and be safe. But I'm letting you know, that's what I'm on. That's my risky bet of the week. If you like to be ballsy, there you go.
You heard it. If you like to be ballsy, strap up and ride the Rams.
Yeah, what do you like?
Hey, I got to tell you, I got no lean on this game. The one thing that scares me about this game is the Ravens come in with the 2nd-ranked passing defense in the NFL. I know how much the Rams like to pass.
Good luck covering 2 guys that run the same exact way.
They do.
Good luck.
I love those guys. My thing is this about the Rams. I never bet against the Rams because I love their coach so much, and their game plan, when it's spicy, it's some of the spiciest.
My God, Zappy.
I can't bet that Puka
Nakua.
Oh my God.
He runs hard.
He's so good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, he runs hard.
So good.
But there you go. Gave you another pick, +7.5 and money line. Okay, Vikings at Raiders. Interesting game. The over-under's 40.5. The Vikings are -3 to win the game. I don't know where the public's going to be. My guess is the public's going to be on the Vikings. I lean on the Raiders +3, but I don't know if I'm going to bet it or not. So I'm letting you know that now up front. I lean Raiders +3, but I don't know if I'm going to bet it. What do you like?
You want to know what I like, cousin?
Talk to me.
You got to pull out the leg. You got to pull out the leg of prosciutto for me because I got to slice it up thin. I know the public's going to be on the Vikings, and I couldn't agree with you more. But when you pull it out that way, and I got to get it, sliced up nice and thin, I take the Vikings on an alternate -2.5. The Jet
Just
is
take
back.
Money line then.
Nope. -2.5 is worth it. The Jet is back. The Jet is back in stride, and I think he's looking to make a big statement. He's been watching Tyreek Hill for 6-7 weeks dominate as the number one receiver in the league. I think the Jets going to have something to say about that. I think the Raiders passing defense, who comes into this game at 31, is going to make it easy on him and on Josh Dobbs. And my boy, O'Connell, he's going to fucking draw it up, baby. You know what else I'm doing? I'm adding the Broncos in there, plus 7.5 on an alternate, and the Fins minus 6.5 on an alternate. And that's a little beauty at plus 260. So write home and tell your mother about
your
it.
prosciutto pounder. Broncos plus 7, Vikings minus 2.5.
7 and a hook.
Oh, plus 7 and a hook. So Broncos plus 7.5. Say it out loud in order.
Here's the prosciutto. Make sure you slice it thin. We only slice it thin. If you slice it any other way, I will not accept it. Vikings on an alt, minus 2.5. Broncos on an alt, plus 7.5. Fins on an alt, minus 6.5. Take that to the bank. That's plus 260.
He gave it to you. He sliced it thin. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm nervous on these lines. I'm not going to lie.
I'm ready for the Jet to do big things in Las Vegas.
All right. Seahawks at the Niners. Line's 11. I want nothing to do with it. I do think I'm going to give you a touchdown scorer in this game. Smith-Njigba is going to get in the end zone this week. He should have gotten the end zone last week. The NFL took away the touchdown. Shame on them. This guy is showing he's the best receiver on the team. But for whatever reason, Geno Smith just likes to feed DK Metcalf because maybe DK threatened him in the locker room. I don't know. But it's time to feed the young rookie who's the best route runner, speed, and everything guy on the team, period. Best hands, too, by the way. So Smith to score a touchdown. Smith-Njigba to score a touchdown. What do you like in this game?
Last time I bet this game, I had the 49ers minus 6.5 on Thanksgiving, I think it was. I want no part of this game this time.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That was a tough one to watch.
None.
I feel you on that. Bills at the Chiefs. The line's 1.5. Chiefs are minus 1.5. You got a lean?
I got no lean. I got to say that I've looked at this game so many times in just disarray because the Bills, who are a team that talked about being in the Super Bowl and, you know, they came so close in years prior, and now they're 6-6, and you got Allen versus Mahomes, and this game's kind of just like getting swept under the rug because the Bills are just not in it.
I'll take the Bills plus 1.5. I'm going to bet it. I don't like it, but it's weird, and I have no choice when I see a line like this. I got to take it. I have to.
It's a ballsy bet that you're taking, too, because the Chiefs just lost a heartbreaker
on the road. And they need to bounce back.
And they're at home.
That's
why I don't like it. Because I do think the Bills could win, too. The Chiefs look like shit.
It's not in any of my parlays. It'll be on its own. Yeah. So there you go. Chargers facing the Broncos. Chargers are at home. Chargers are minus 3 against the Broncos. Weird game. I have nothing for this. I know Anthony likes Broncos on an adjusted line. I have a no bet here. What do you think?
For me, it's really simple. I think the Broncos are going to play perfectly into this game plan that the Chargers come in with. The Chargers love to throw the ball. Kellen Moore loves to throw the ball. The Broncos are actually good at defending the pass. However, they are almost dead last in the league at defending the run. If the Chargers run the ball, I do think they can win the game. I don't think they'll cover the 7.5 alt, but the Broncos must efficiently pass the ball, and Sean Payton usually draws up a pretty good scheme for that.
I can't bet this game. I can't. I do think that the run stop for the Chargers is going to be severely hurt. So I lean Broncos, but I can't bet it, period. Next game is the easiest game of the week for me. The Eagles are at the Cowboys, revenge game. Cowboys all day long. Minus 3 money line. Get on the horse, ride it hard. It's going to put them both at 10-3. The Eagles are going to lose the division lead because they're going to fall again at some point. The Cowboys are going to win a lot of games. They're going to win the division. Book it. You could probably get plus 400 for that right now if you wanted to.
Wow.
Yeah.
A conference they once called the NFC Beast. It got very watered down. It's back into beast mode, and he's saying the Cowboys are taking it from Philly. Yep. I know the fans in Philly hate to hear that.
I think you guys are going to lose that lead.
Guess what? The Eagles, they come into this game almost dead last, 29th out of 32 in pass D. I expect my guy Dak attack spectacularly. spectacular to show up.
I don't know if this is true. I got a little stat for everybody.
I love Dak.
A friend of mine sent me this, and I have to see if it's true. John Hussey will be the head referee for Sunday's game against the Cowboys. The Eagles are 7-0 when John Hussey referees, including last year's Sunday Night Football versus the Cowboys in the NFC Championship. In those games, the Eagles were penalized just 6 times compared to 21 times for their opponents. Interesting stat. Scares me a little bit.
You know what I like, though?
But I still like the Cowboys.
I like that stat is out into the universe and into the atmosphere, because Uncle Dusty, when he gets in that Uber on the way down to the stadium, he's going to think twice about, pulling that flag out of the pocket.
He's not going to be in Philly either. He's going to be in a nice Dallas hotel.
All eyes are on you, cuzzo.
So, Steve, thanks for sending me that. I'm going to look into that. That's an interesting little tidbit for you. All right, the next 2 games are...
2 Monday nighters.
Yeah, which is stupid. You're not able to watch both at the same time.
I
fucking hate this shit. This is so stupid.
Oh, this is a double 7:15.
Yeah, just let me ruin my night. Let me just watch one game and enjoy it. That's so stupid.
That's because they know the Pack are going to smack.
Stop putting 2 games on Monday night. And if you're going to do it, stagger them. Put one start at 6 and one start at 9. That's not rocket science. This is ridiculous. Unbelievably ridiculous. You could have literally just started the either game at 6 o'clock. Could have been fine, and tell the big boys to stay up late until midnight. It's unbelievable. All right, you got the Titans.
You gotta love his passion for the game.
Titans versus Dolphins. Packers versus Giants. I have no lean on. Frankly, I have to take. Well, the line in the Giants Packers game is 6.5.
Oh, that's your spot.
So I got to take plus 6.5. You know the rules. I think the Steelers just scored a touchdown.
They did. Deontay Johnson.
Rest in peace to all the underbetters. It's over already in the first half.
I'm so glad.
31 points scored in the first half.
I got so sick and tired of hearing about that today.
But I have to take plus 6.5 for the Giants here at home. It sucks. I don't like it.
Now let me ask you this, because it's more so for the people.
Go ahead.
So they understand.
Go ahead.
This is more so under your 6.5 theory, or do you actually feel like they might have a chance to do that?
It's my 6.5 theory. I've given everybody that theory. It's been working out more than it hasn't.
Yeah.
But I also do think that the Giants can effectively run the ball in this game. I don't believe in the Packers run stop, and Saquon can run the hell out of the ball. So get ready to watch that. As for the Titans and the Dolphins, I don't get this team.
I'll tell you what the Dolphins are going to try and do in this game.
What?
The Dolphins come into this game at minus 13. They come into this game with a guy who is, like I said, trying to get as many yards as possible. The Dolphins are at home. I think the Dolphins, I think they rear back, to be quite honest with you. And I think they absolutely try and embarrass and de-pants the Titans on Monday Night Football. I'm not saying they're going to, but I think on the main stage at home with an MVP caliber, 2 MVP caliber in the running type players, they're going to try and put on a show.
Yeah.
That's how I see it, Cuzzy.
I'm going to give everybody a parlay. Give me a second here.
Oh, pull up the par.
I'm going to give everybody a parlay. Everybody deserves a parlay.
Pull up a par.
You deserve it. Nobody gets hurt. Let's go.
Hey, while he pulls up the par, on second thought, I was thinking about that Vikings-Raiders game again. You really got my wheels turning.
Go ahead. Talk to me.
Flores blitzes like 71% of the time, so I really do like the Vikings in this game because O'Connell's under the helm. I do like O'Connell, but I'm looking forward to seeing him get blitzed up. I don't know if he could hang in there against that.
You don't think so?
He's not mobile enough. I seen, Fields hurt the Vikings a little bit with his legs in that game, although it was one of the worst games I've ever watched, but he did hurt the Vikings with his legs because they brought so much blitz on him. O'Connell can't move.
I'm debating on how risky I want to be on this parlay for the people.
You don't have to be that risky. Or you could be risky.
I'm giving you a 20-1 parlay, clean, 5-teamer. Here we go. Rams plus 8, Jets plus 4, Cowboys money line, Giants plus 7. That's Monday night. Buccaneers plus 1. There's your 20-1 parlay. You're welcome. If it hits, if it doesn't, guys, I don't pay you to bet parlays. I pay you to take the straights.
And that's a 5-team steamerini.
5-team steamerini pays 20-1. Stay healthy. I'm going to go and make love to my wife. It's been an absolute pleasure. I love you, and sorry we were late this week. I got to be a car dealer sometimes. All right? Goodbye.